Hello and welcome to Simply Sport with me, Neeraj Prabhu. We have with us the Director of Sports and Youth Affairs, VM Prabhu Desai, who is going to chair the committee which will look after the performance of coaches, keep on evaluating and suggest improvement in the coaching structure of the Goan coaches under the Sports Authority of Goa. Never before was there so much focus on coaches' performance or evaluation, but now it's very important that the coaches are looked after well and give their best as well. Because Goa is heading into a direction which will be very important as Goa will be hosting the national games in 2016. So the work starts right now, and to start with, the coaches are one of the biggest or the most important cog in this wheel of sports department in Goa, isn't it?
I fully agree with you, Niraj, and in fact, I'm partly responsible for taking this onus on me. And I want to say and add that not only coaches' performance would be evaluated, the 800 odd employees of the Sports Authority of Goa, their assessment would be also done. We are going to obtain their appraisals, personal appraisals, and then evaluate them on various parameters like their educational qualification, the skills that they possess, the kind of experience that they have acquired over the years, the responsibilities that they shoulder at present, and what kind of responsibilities could be added to them if at all they have lesser responsibilities. So on all these parameters, the employees will be evaluated. The same kind of parameters would be applied to the coaches in terms of their qualification, training, knowledge, aptitude, interest, and then their present responsibilities, whether any responsibilities can be added to their portfolio. All these aspects would be considered.
It looks like a very challenging task to evaluate evaluate coaches, because what sort of mechanism can be employed to judge the output of coaches? Because in the competitions, if the players bring the medals, it's very easy to say, okay, this player has brought a medal, he or she has been coached by so and so coach. But how do you go about evaluation in performance of coaches when there are not many medals coming to Goa at the national level?
In fact, I have already devised the various components and parameters on which the performance of the coaches as well as the employees would be gauged. And I'm busy preparing the template which will go to the employees and the coaches. But as you have correctly said, winning medal will not be the sole criteria. Medals may come in about half a dozen or a dozen sports, but we have over 45 sports being nurtured in the state of Goa. So winning medal is certainly not the criteria. The involvement, the indulgence of the coach in his or her activities, the in-depth knowledge that is carried by the coach, the methodology applied by the coach in training, coaching, the type of conditioning the coaches would indulge the trainees into, all these aspects would be considered. It's going to be a very, very comprehensive evaluation. It starts with the knowledge of the coach. It starts also with the effort the coach would take to enhance his or her knowledge. So how many hours in a day the coach goes to the sports books, how many hours in a day the coach would prepare his lessons for next morning or next afternoon. All these aspects would be adhered in mind to know the aptitude and the attitude and the outlook of the coach. So a lot would depend not only on winning medals, but on the attitude, approach and outlook of the coach. I could give you several examples in which coaches may not be bringing too many medals, but they have been proved to be very active and knowledgeable coaches. There are a lot of football coaches who will come in that bracket. So also some of the prominent cricket coaches the Sports Authority of Goa has got. Then talking about the sports department coaches, we have one or two in table tennis, and in games like indigenous games like kabaddi and so on and so forth.
Every sport discipline undergoes a lot of change over a period of time, so there must be some focus on coach education as well. Do you have a plan to send the coaches for continual refresher courses?
Most certainly, most certainly. Some of our coaches have done their NS and IS, which is a diploma in coaching, some 20, 30 years ago. No doubt they must have attended certain refresher courses, workshops, orientations. They have been also part and parcel of the refereeing that goes on. Many of the coaches, undertake assignment for judges and refereeing. Whenever any national events are held in Goa or outside Goa. So it's not that they are not updated. They are already abreast of the latest happenings. It has to be continuous process. Therefore, I said each and every aspect must be known to the coach. There are number of additions being done in the last 10, 20 years. The coach has to have fair idea about sports psychology, kinesiology, body mechanics, yoga, meditation, injuries, rehabilitation, how the coach would rehabilitate the player. Once the player, in the first place, the coach must know how to prevent injuries. So what are the various aspects connected with preventing the injuries, the skill techniques of the game, the gadgets to be utilized, the preventive, measures to be taken on and off the ground by the coach and by the athletes to, in the first place, prevent injuries. And if by any chance misfortune of the athlete and the coach, the athletes get injured, how to cure the injury and how fast the athlete would be put once again on the ground is very, very important aspect in terms of sports and games today. So if a coach takes 2 months for his athlete to put him on the ground, and if the B coach with the same kind of injury takes only 8 days or 4 days for the athletes to once again slog on the ground, it means the B coach is better than the A coach. Right. So these are the parameters on which you will have to judge the knowledge of the coach. Not only physiotherapy, there's something called mental coaching now. You could be called a better coach or a very good coach or excellent coach only if you have fair idea about mental coaching. No doubt nowadays people engage mental coaches separately apart from the general coaches. You would also have somebody as a mental coach separately, like you would have a physiotherapist or a psychologist. But still, nonetheless, the coach must have fair idea about mental training, mental coaching. So you will whatever new coaches are there who have done their diplomas and training abroad, you will realize that they are better equipped only because they not only know general coaching, they also know better about mental coaching, mental training.
Almost 150 coaches now that you are going to evaluate and keep an eye on their performance?
About 150 from SAG side, about 10 or 12 from the sports department side, and over 700 employees of the SAG. And maybe later we could do the same exercise for the sports department. It's a stupendous task. Absolutely. And I'll be having another 4 people to assist me, and together a 5-member committee will have to undergo that task.
Overall, coming to this stage, have you ever thought that they may need some more motivation or pep up and talks, motivating talks that you can give? So, do you think that you will have to do a continuous motivating talk session with all these coaches and employees?
Absolutely. As you very rightly pointed out, some of the coaches are under-motivated. In terms of their qualification, in terms of their training, in terms of their aptitude and attitude. So they might be lagging behind for lack of motivation, lack of encouragement, lack of guidance, and lack of training. So out of 150 coaches from SAG and about 12 coaches from department, I could very safely say that there would be at least 30-40% of them who lag behind as far as all these latest technology and latest techniques and skills are concerned. So we will have very big task to bring them on par with those who know better. Who know better. So to my mind, I could have three types of coaches. Coaches who are excellent, coaches who are very good, and maybe coaches who are average or below average, and coaches in that same bracket would be coaches who require to be desperately trained.
And when you all put this huge effort into all this assessment and performance training, when some coaches do not really come up to the level, will the department suspend them, or what would be the punishment?
Not about that. The whole exercise is being done to rule out the general criticism that is being done. Moment somebody takes the name of a coach or the coach's fraternity, the entire fraternity gets criticized, and people try to generalize without many a times knowing that there are also very good coaches, hardworking coaches. So in order to rule out that general criticism that is attributed to the coaching fraternity, this exercise once completed, you will be able to know who are the best coaches, who are the not so good coaches. And the not so good coaches we will have to have a hot pursuit as far as those particular coaches are concerned. In the first place, we will have to give them 3 months or 6 months time to improve upon their knowledge, attitude, skill, technique, their methodology of coaching. And if they still don't improve or don't undergo the required and the desired training, then the Sports Authority of Goa, the government will have to think about declaring them as redundant, and the further procedures could be adopted for either terminating their services or maybe engaging their services elsewhere. That, of course, the administrative procedures would be followed.
This shows the mindset of the government that it really wants the sports persons from Goa to come up and bring laurels to the state, because if the coaches aren't good, they won't prepare a good crop of players. So this is real new direction that Goan sports is heading into.
Yes, I certainly agree with you. Government has realized that seeing at the salary bill of the coaches and the other employees, we have realized that something drastic will have to be done to see that their output is to the optimum level. People deliver and deliver in a very effective manner, and that's the reason this particular committee has been formed under my chairmanship, and I assure the people of Goa that I shall do justice to the responsibility that is assigned to me, and in a record time, in nearly 2 or 3 months' time, I'll be submitting a very, very detailed report classifying the various coaches into 2 or 3 categories and naming them, that somebody is very good or excellent, the other guy could be good, and the third category of the guy could be average or below average. So I'll show that courage in determining their category. While we talk, the sports department and SAG would talk about evaluation of the performance of the coaches, we couldn't leave the State Sports Association outside this purview. They also have a huge responsibility. Onus also lies on the association that they utilize the services of these coaches effectively. You will also see some of the associations doing that exceedingly well, while others have failed or they have been failing. So I raised this point in the last general body a couple of days ago,